throwing bombs. Huckabee in the black trunks on top, trying to deliver some accuracy with that ground and pound, but he's got to be careful.
Huckabee taking the fight on short notice and wanting to get it over in a hurry. Of course, the longer this fight goes, the deeper water it goes to. It probably will favor John Murphy, although he is some 20 pounds heavier than David Huckabee, and Huckabee just throws Murphy into the cage. And now in the north-south position, Huckabee looking to maybe deliver some knees to the shoulder. No knees to the head of a grounded opponent allowed here under the unified rules of mixed martial arts in Mississippi. And now Huckabee just allowing Murphy maybe to get back to his feet. Comes in with a right, and Murphy now attacks the left leg. Good sprawl there by Huckabee. Huckabee now, nice knee to the body by Huckabee, working from the side.
Huckabee in complete control, throwing around Murphy like it was a rag doll in this first round.
2 minutes have gone in the opening round. It's all David Huckabee. Circa Murphy misses with a wild uppercut. Now comes in. Again, misses with that looping right hand. Huckabee doing a good job of avoiding the attack of Murphy, and he tags him going backwards, and back on his back is John Murphy. So Huckabee doing a good job, even doing like Chuck Liddell, punching while backing up.
Huckabee is a very wily fighter, creating a lot of good angles standing up, and every time it goes to the floor, it's Huckabee on top, but he's got to be careful here of a submission via armbar.
Yeah, Murphy was looking for the armbar, and quickly Huckabee rained down the left and right to break that submission attempt. Now cross-facing Murphy is Huckabee dropping the elbow. The side of the face, good shot there by Huckabee. Nearing the 3-minute mark of the opening round.
Huckabee's only concern is, can he keep this pace up for 3 rounds if it goes that far?
And I thought Huckabee doing a good job of mixing it up, going to the body and the head. The referee for this fight, John Manley, electing to bring them back up to their feet. Murphy now looking for the guillotine, drops down. Does he have it secured here?
Murphy doesn't have quite the position yet, and he's got to be careful not to use too much energy here if he doesn't get the move, because he will get tired.
Now into full mount.
Yes, what a reversal here.
And Murphy just looking to drain down some ground and pound. Murphy dropping bombs on Huckabee. So a reversal of fortunes here in the final minute and 10 seconds of this round. The heavyweights slugging it out, Stephen, like we thought they would do.
Murphy, who's in top control with the mount, has got to pick his shots. He's got to go side, then down the center.
And look at Huckabee delivering some hammer fists from the bottom. Murphy in the full mount, final minute, 50 seconds. Nice elbow by Murphy.
If Murphy was smart, he would put his hand right on the forehead of Huckabee, then drop the elbow straight down.
Murphy seems to be breathing laboriously. Lots of energy being expended with each and every shot. Now trying to shell up his Huckabee, but doing a good job from the bottom of delivering his own shots. Now Murphy looks for the arm bar, but the perspiration made him slip. He missed the arm.
But he's going for it again. He's got it trapped now, too.
And now fully extending the arm. Can Huckabee survive the final 15 seconds? Look at David Huckabee. Can he survive the last 10 seconds? My goodness.
He's going to survive, and he gets his way out. Murphy does not have the hold.
Thrilling opening round between Dave Huckabee and John Murphy. Go guys,
It's tough enough nowadays to get a takedown, let alone an over their shoulder pile driver suplex like that. John Murphy did score that, but Huckabee jumped right back up and started throwing bombs. Later in the match, John Murphy reversed everything, got mount, and landed some vicious strikes, including that elbow. Murphy was in control fell back and missed the armbar entirely, decided to sit back up and grab it again and go for it. But Huckabee was very wily in defending the move. Huckabee in the dark trunks survived round number 1, but it was really close.
Terrific opening 5 minutes of action. What can they do for an encore here in round 2? Murphy delivered the suplex, went for the armbar submission, and now tags Huckabee with a couple of right hands going to the body, tags him again, and he drops David Huckabee. Murphy wins this fight via knockout.
Unbelievable! The mistake that Huckabee was making in the first round was dropping his hands, and that paid dividends for John Murphy in this round. Put together a nice boxing combination and ended things.
David Huckabee experiences Murphy's Law in the form of a devastating KO. The Sherpa, John Murphy, improving to 4-2. A very exciting fight, and it ends in exhilarating fashion. Is now concern for David Huckabee, medical staff on hand, and of course safety always paramount in the sport of mixed martial arts. And really, Stephen, this is what makes MMA so much different than a lot of other combat sports. They don't allow the fight to continue. Once you hit the canvas like that, they saw that he was out, the fight was stopped. Murphy is your winner.
Thanks, my man. Thank you for the opportunity, baby.
Okay, here we have Murphy coming in brawling with uppercuts, getting rough, going to the body and back up top. And it was basically that first right hand that knocked Huckabee out. Huckabee crumpled down, and Manley had no choice but to stop the contest. Murphy came in the Golden Glove boxer, and it was that technique, the right hand, that ended things for him in the second round early on. Here it is once again. And both guys were getting a little bit sloppy, but the least sloppy was Murphy, and it was the body shot that set up the high 2 shots right there. Murphy wins by TKO.
Dr. Robert Dews is on hand tending to David Huckabee. 2 ambulances are on site. The River Region Hospital just 7 miles away, and again, we never want to see fighters injured, and hopefully David Huckabee will be okay, and it looks like he is back on his stand, at least sitting up, which is a good sign, and you can see he's already showing dejection, showing the fact that, you know, he's disappointed that he was knocked out. A great fighter, and an even better human being, and a nice round of applause from a very appreciative crowd here at the Vicksburg Convention Center. They're on their feet saluting the efforts of both of these heavyweights. An exhilarating contest ending via knockout here in the second round. And let's go now to Jimmy Lennon Jr. to make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 19 seconds in round number 2. He is the winner by way of knockout, John Sherpa Murphy.
John, he was throwing you around quite a bit in that first round. Was his strength something to contend with?
Absolutely, he's a super strong guy, man. I saw his fights, he handled people real well. I knew he was gonna be strong. I had 20 pounds on him at the weigh-in. That didn't even faze my mind. I knew he was going to be a big, strong boy. He hustles metal for a living, iron for a living. I knew he was going to be strong no matter what kind of training he had. So,
now you had the mount at the end of that first round, but then you fell back for that arm bar, but didn't get it, but then picked it a second time. How often does that happen?
not too often. That was a tired man's arm bar right there, too. That's kind of sloppy. I know my trainer's going to be a little bit mad at that technique, but I went for it. It was there. I saw the submission. I just wish I had a little bit more gas. I would pull off. He was strong, man. He stood up in that arm bar, and I couldn't crank it. I give that to him, man. That was a good job by him.
Did the boxing make the difference?
Absolutely. I felt my hands, so I let my hands go. I mean, I saw I got tired, so I thought now it's time to start letting my hands go a little bit, and I know I have power in both of them. I can put you down with either four, and it just so happened that way.
Okay, presenting the trophy is the king of the cage president, Terry Treblecock. Thanks a lot. Give it up for him there. John Murphy, everybody. Back to you, Morrow.
John Murphy knocks out the Gladiator Challenge heavyweight champion in a non-title affair here on ShoXC. I wonder if a title shot is in his very bright future.
Jesus Christ, my Lord, save me. Thank you. What's that?
All right, taking a look now what's coming up next year on ShoXC. It will be middleweight mayhem as Dr. Seth Kleinbeck takes on El Cucuy, the boogeyman, Jamie Hara. If you like watching the best young mixed martial artists in the world fighting to make a name for themselves, well, be sure to join us on October 26th. It's a Friday night for the next installment of ShoXC at 11 o'clock Eastern and Pacific, right here on Showtime. Jamie Hara's body is a tattooed tapestry, and if he gets his way, his opponent's face is going to be tattooed black and blue. Dr. Seth Kleinbeck is used to prescribing medicine for his patients. Tonight, he has a prescription for pain written out in Hara's name.
I like to get in people's heads, and I think that helps. I like my opponents to see this one right here, hate. I just like messing with their heads. If I can get in their heads, I already got half the battle won, you know? If you get in their heads, you got half the fight won.
And there he is, Jamie El Cucuy Hara. Stephen, we saw him on the debut edition of ShoXC knock out Jeremiah Metcalf in scintillating fashion. A rather intimidating individual because of, well, all that ink on his body.
And he likes the fact that people are afraid of those tattoos. Interesting fact, before he fought Metcalf, we were talking about his submission ability, but it was the knockout punch that did it in that fight.
And speaking of that fight with Metcalf, let's revisit the action last month here on ShoXC. Again, it was the Gladiator champion defeating another Gladiator champion in Jeremiah Metcalf as he stopped him with a vicious shot, and now Hara's got the momentum coming into this fight tonight.
Hara seems to think that Seth is a little bit afraid of him in this match, but he does admire Seth for a good sprawl, but he says overall he's not impressed.
The music you hear in the background as he entered the cage was a track by Blackhawk called If You're Scared, Say You're Scared, especially written for him if you, of course he's wearing the MMA gloves, but on the palms of his hands, on one hand it says, if you're scared, on the other hand it says, say you're scared. And definitely opponents need to be afraid of Jamie Hara.
I don't really see a conflict of interest there. When I'm fighting, I'm fighting. When I'm taking care of sick people, I'm taking care of sick people, and it's two different worlds. I saw him, he submitted a few guys. Mainly, keep it standing up. If he wants to stand up and fight, that's perfectly fine with me. I ain't got nothing to say to him. Maybe we can talk after the fight.
Well, on the surface, Seth Kleinbeck does seem like a normal guy. He's been married for 16 years, has 2 kids, is a licensed physician who practices family and ER medicine, but let's face it, in reality, he is anything but normal. Known to his patients as Dr. Kleinbeck, he's known by his alter ego of mass destruction to mixed martial arts fans around the world. With a combined amateur and pro MMA record of 13-3, his patients might be shocked to see his lack of bedside manner when he's competing inside the cage.
And he's a veteran of 3 tough man contests, and he never lost a fight there. He does like the quiet, humble type, loves Clint Eastwood because he doesn't say much, admires Don Fry and Cabbage Carrera and Nick Diaz.
He appeared on the undercard of the EliteXC Strike Force show June 22nd in San Jose, California, taking on Sam Spengler. And he proceeded to dominate the fight, in fact, ending it in the second round via some good old-fashioned ground and pound.
Most of Kleinbeck's wins come by TKO. So it's no mistake that the punches will come in bunches tonight.
Let's now take a look at the tail of the tape for this middleweight contest. Seth Kleinbeck's 34, 6 feet tall, weighing in tonight at 185.5 pounds with a Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu background. He faces Jamie Hara, 38, 6'1", 183 pounds with a wrestling background. All right, here he is, the golden voice of mixed martial arts, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
All right, fans, here we go. Middleweights in the cage and a special attraction scheduled 3 5-minute rounds. Introducing to you first on my left. He is fighting out of the blue corner, standing 6 feet 1 inch. He weighed in at a ready 183 pounds. He's an MMA fighter raised in the tradition of wrestling with a record of 16 wins, 4 losses, with 6 wins coming by way of knockout and 8 by submission. Here is the former Gladiator Challenge heavyweight and light heavyweight title holder and the current Gladiator Challenge middleweight champion from North Highlands, California, introducing Jamie El Cucuy Hara. And his opponent across the cage on my right, fighting out of the red corner, standing 6 feet even. He weighed in at 185.5 pounds. Specializing in Jiu-Jitsu and Muay Thai, his record stands at 7 wins, 3 losses, and all 7 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the big-time hard hitter from Stuttgart, Arkansas, known as Mass Destruction, introducing Seth Kleinbeck. And a referee in charge of the action now to give instructions, Josh Rosenthal.
All right, gentlemen, we've gone over the rules. I expect a clean fight. Obey my commands all times. Defend yourselves all times. Touch gloves, go back, and let's do this.
Judge!
Couple of 185-pounders looking to square off here on ShoXC.
You ready?
Seth Kleinbeck and Jamie Hara. This matchup underway, scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds as the two touch gloves. And Hara again has done it all in Gladiator Challenge, the current Gladiator Challenge middleweight champion. Kleinbeck in the black trunks, Jara in the white fight shorts. And really, I guess Hara's kind of the pseudo Gladiator Challenge welterweight champion after defeating Jeremiah Metcalf with a knockout in his last fight.
I wonder if he's going to drop down to welterweight and lightweight. And this guy keeps dropping divisions. He was the heavyweight champion, the light heavyweight champion. Hara is the southpaw in the white trunks, and both men are being patient here. But it was Kleinbeck who delivered the right hand.
You openly speculate about Hara wanting to possibly drop down. In fact, he did tell me that's exactly what he's going to do. This is his last fight at middleweight, coming in under the middleweight limit at 183 pounds. The next time we'll see Hara will be in the welterweight division at 170 pounds.
Both men cautious, waiting for the other one to commit, to make a mistake.
All 7 of Kleinbeck's victories have ended via KO. Has definite knockout power with his right hand, but that's the one thing with those kicks. He does leave himself susceptible to takedowns. Not a very proficient kicker is Seth Kleinbeck.
But that kick was pretty high, and if it would have landed, it would have done some damage.
The wouldas and couldas and shouldas of mixed martial arts.
But here, I'm saying that inside Jamie Hara's poker face, we're seeing him think, okay, that kick was pretty high. Maybe I could consider taking this guy to the floor.
We saw the former naval officer, Brendan Tierney, get submitted by Omar Love in our opening contest. Well, we have Dr. Seth Kleinbeck in this matchup. He served in the United States Marine Corps for nearly a year.
Not a lot of action here early. I'd be interested to see how Hara plans to initiate a standing attack. Right now he hasn't done much except for block that jab.
Well, we asked Seth Kleinbeck, you know, with the family life, with the great career as a doctor, why does he choose to involve himself in mixed martial arts? He says he doesn't fight because he wants to. He fights because he has to. It's that desire, that competitive spirit within him that makes him want to step into the cage. And so far, so good with a 7-3 record heading into tonight's tilt. But right now, we're going through a bit of a feeling out process, Stephen. A cautious opening round between Hara and Kleinbeck, which I guess speaks to the respect, the mutual respect they have for one another.
Well, interestingly, Hara said that Kleinbeck was afraid of him, but right now we have seen zero offense from Jamie Hara in the white trunks.
Kleinbeck flashes the jab. Hara steps in, but immediately backs up one more time. Kleinbeck really has that left hand down as well. He has it low.
I think that the kicking is going to be the difference for Kleinbeck. I really do, because right now the punches aren't a problem for Hara to defend against, but the kicks are presenting the biggest problem. Crowd's getting restless due to the lack of activity here.
Minute and a half remaining in the opening round. Very tentative affair between Seth Kleinbeck and Jamie Hara. Cut kick delivered on the outside of Hara's right leg by Kleinbeck. Kleinbeck doing a good job of staying out of Hara's striking range so far, Stephen.
Hara basically has done nothing to open the can here. And he's going to lose this round for sure.
Body kick by Hara, final 60 seconds.
Kleinbeck should go back to that left low kick.
Goes with a right inside cut kick, but you're right, it's been Kleinbeck's kicks that have dictated this opening round. And really, Jamie Hara using it almost like a Muay Thai round, the opening round of a Muay Thai fight, Stephen, where you do see that feeling out process, trying to find your range and get comfortable in your foot movement. But we're here on Showtime, ShoXC, wanting to showcase the best the sport of mixed martial arts has to offer. And while he electrified the audience in his ShoXC debut, Jamie Hara very cautious in this opening 5 minutes.
But unlike the fights in Thailand where the first 2 rounds are simply feel-out rounds, here in a 3-round fight, you got to get busy right from the get-go.
Definitely a sprint and not a marathon. And Kleinbeck, good job of counter-striking Jamie Hara. A good opening round for Seth Mass Destruction Kleinbeck.
Let's go, gentlemen, let's go! Let's go, Zed. Gentlemen, ready. Ready. Let's fight!
How did you score that opening round, Stephen?
That was definitely a 10-9 round for Seth Kleinbeck. He won because he was busy. He didn't land a lot of clean shots to the head, but he did land kicks to the body and the leg.
What do you expect to see from Hara in this middle stanza?
Hara's going to need to get a clinch here, need to get a takedown, because he's not going to win the stand-up fight, at least not so far. Because he's telegraphing his punches, and he's not throwing punches in combination, and he's only moving straight forward and straight back. He is slowly circling to his left.
Working from the southpaw stance, finally fires off a body kick.
I think Hara should press the action, shield up, get into a clinch, get the fight up against the fence, start to use some dirty boxing, think about dropping for a single or a double, because staying on the outside like this is only going to favor Seth Kleinbeck.
Kleinbeck utilizing the jab to set up his kicks so far in this fight. Another outside cut kick by Kleinbeck, but doesn't follow up. Now, Hara comes in with an overhand left, but they clinch up. Greco-Roman clincher. Hara now has Kleinbeck along the fence.
Hara needs
over underhooks.
Yeah, Hara needs to just be patient here. Keep control here. Stay in the clinch. Keep Kleinbeck back to the fence.
Buckling now.
Once Hara gets double underhooks, it's going to be a different fight.
Kleinbeck, good job of delivering a knee right to the stomach.
Notice that Kleinbeck is pushing back the hips of Hara to keep him at bay, because once Hara gets close, a takedown will be...
There it is, high crotch lift into the takedown by Seth Kleinbeck. Nicely done into the close guard now of Jamie Hara. Good move there by Kleinbeck.
Yeah, because he beat him to the takedown. Usually they beat him to the punch, but he said, I'm not going to let you take me down. I'm taking you down. Now he's on top, but he has to be careful, because Jamie Hara's got a really good guard. Kleinbeck might want to think about standing back up here.
Hara immediately tries to control position when they are on the ground. Very comfortable on his back, always looking for a submission. If the submission isn't there, well, he likes to throw elbows and hopes that his opponent will give up their arm or neck, but it's a good job by Hara from the bottom here at keeping Kleinbeck at close quarters, controlling that head.
Let's work, guys. Let's advance the positions
And Hara
here.
did another ring-wise move. He put his foot on the fence and pushed himself away from the fence. That lessens the ground and pound opportunities for Seth, who's on top right now.
Busy, active guard by Hara, open guard now.
Hara with a half a butterfly guard. That's the right shin under the thigh of Steinbeck.
Let's work, guys. Let's work.
Or
Let's work.
Kleinbeck, sorry.
You can get the full butterfly guard now, looking to shift his hips, maybe going for a Kimura, maybe guillotine. Hara still working from the half butterfly, gets a full butterfly off his back and go for the elevator sweep, but he's very much in control here. And Kleinbeck finally now looking to go maybe for the scarf position, but no, it's a good job by Hara of avoiding just that.
Kleinbeck momentarily had side control, but Hara, being the crafty grappler he is, gets the guard again.
What exactly, when I mentioned the scarf position, scarf hold, what was that, Stephen? The headlock with the arm.
Guys, let's keep it moving.
Not so prevalent these days in mixed martial arts. You see a lot in Japan.
It's very hard to get without the gi, actually.
You're right.
All right, clean break, clean break.
Now again working from half butterfly. And finally the referee and the officials doing a good job so far in this contest. Both John Manley and in this bout Josh Rosenthal trying to keep the action at a premium. As we near the final minute of this second round between Jamie Hara and Seth Kleinbeck.
Jamie Hara had the fight where he wanted it, even though he was on his back. Problem is, he didn't do enough to keep the fight there. Now they're back to standing. I think Hara should throw an overhand left, get in there and get another clinch. He can't stay on the outside like this. He's basically giving up the match here.
Nice left hand by Hara, half a minute remaining.
Hara really needs to press the action here.
Final 10 seconds, another round that belonged to Seth Mass Destruction Kleinbeck. And oh, he drops Hara right at the bell, or no, he beat the bell. He beat the bell. Kleinbeck stops Jamie Hara.
Wow, in a word.
Take your time, take your time.
Hey, he stepped up, but now you got it.
Prior to the bell to end round 2, Seth Kleinbeck rings the bell of Jamie Hara and stops this fight in dramatic fashion.
Jamie Hara let his guard down for just a fraction of a second, and that's all it took for Seth Kleinbeck to close the show.
Right hand.
And of course, the good thing about this is that Kleinbeck can now go over to Jamie Hara and, as a doctor, make sure that he's medically okay. What a stoppage, what a win for Seth Mass Destruction Kleinbeck. He improves to 8-3, all 8 victories via knockout.
1 second left in round number 2. All it took was that one punch. Okay, here we have it right near the end of the round.
And as you heard, the bell went just a second after the referee stopped the fight, waving it off. So really just 1 second left. Beating the bell and beating Hara in impressive fashion was Seth Kleinbeck. Let's make it official with Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 4 minutes, 59 seconds in round number 2. Our referee stops the contest due to strikes. He is the winner by way of technical knockout, Seth Mass Destruction Kleinbeck.
Okay, Seth, 1 second left, one punch. How does that work?
Lucky, I guess. I don't know. We'll call it a lucky punch. No, I wanted to keep it standing. I was surprised that he did. I did not think he would come out and box with me. But, you know, you got to let it all hang out. Less than 10 seconds, you got to go hard.
It wasn't a terribly exciting match in that first round, was it?
No, and I'm sorry about that, but you got two guys in here. Neither one of us want to get hit by each other, but both want to throw punches. So, you know, styles make fights. Sorry if y'all thought that was boring, but maybe we gave you a little excitement at the end.
Were you wary of his ground game?
I knew he had good subs. I knew if I was in his guard, I had to stay tight, don't give an arm up. So I was very careful of that. I knew he had good submissions. But down there, it's so hard. You get sweaty. It is extremely difficult to catch people in submission. So.
But you beat a champion. That's got to feel good.
Oh, yeah. And he's still a champion. He still got those belts. He's a tough fighter, and he's a nice guy, friendly guy. So.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the doctor's in the house. Seth Kleinbeck, give it up for him. Thank you very much. Back to you, Morrow.
Very impressive win for Mass Destruction. MD Seth Kleinbeck with a knockout victory over Jamie El Kukui Hara. And here's what's coming up on Showtime. ShoBox, the new generation, kicks off the month on September 1st with a Saturday night special headlined by Victor Oganov, who's won all of his 26 bouts by knockout. The following Friday night, September 7th, ShoBox returns with more of boxing's best young prospects in action, this time featuring the fourth appearance of the undefeated Timothy Bradley. Showtime pay-per-view presents Fernando Vargas versus Ricardo Mayorga in a blood feud between former world champions Saturday, September 8th. On the 15th, it's EliteXC live from Hawaii. Female fighting sensation Gina Carano starts off the card, and in the main event, Murillo Ninja Hu and Robbie Lawler meet in a title unification bout. Then it's 3 consecutive weeks of Showtime Championship Boxing. We travel to Munich, Germany for Vitaly Klitschko's return to the ring as he faces American Jamil McCline on the 22nd. The September to Remember continues on the 29th as WBC light heavyweight champion Chad Dawson makes the second defense of his title as he takes on undefeated Adrian Diacono. And looking ahead to October, it's another big weekend of boxing on Showtime. Friday the 5th, it's ShoBox, the new generation. On Saturday the 6th, heavyweights Oleg Muskayev and Samuel Peter will trade leather for a portion of the world title live from the Mecca of Boxing, Madison Square Garden in New York City. For more on these events and everything on Showtime, visit our website, show.com. Well, we are in Vicksburg, Mississippi, the site of historic Civil War battles nestled along the banks of the Mississippi River. And back inside we come as we have more ShoXC Elite Challenger Series action on the way. We are almost ready for the main event. Charles Crazy Horse Bennett and Victor Joe Boxer Valenzuela. And what an electrifying lightweight matchup that should be. Mauro Ranallo along with Steven Quadros once again in Fight Professor. What a dynamite night of fights it's been. You talk about an explosive finish to the last fight we saw. The good doctor definitely giving a cage call for Jamie Hara.
1 second left, one punch, end of story.
All right, well, let's talk about this main event because really it is a bonus, a showcase, if you will, a special treat for ShoXC fans, a fight that was supposed to take place on June 22nd in San Jose. Crazy Horse Bennett, boxer Victor Valenzuela, no love lost between these two. Where does this bad blood come from?
It dates back 2 years to King of the Cage. The two met in a 2-round fight. Joe Boxer versus Valenzuela versus Bennett. And it was Bennett who was in control early on with his wild and wacky punching style. But Bennett got a little bit tired, and then Valenzuela turned things on, and Bennett couldn't really get up. But the problem was this. There was more in store in the ground and pound from Valenzuela from the top position. He unloaded with punch after punch. Many people thought this fight should have been stopped, but it went to the judge's decision. Bennett could barely make it to stand up to be awarded what in turn inexplicably was termed a draw. Valenzuela didn't like it. Valenzuela has had hatred in his heart ever since then, for 2 years, burning for this rematch.
Yeah, very controversial draw 2 years ago in King of the Cage. So tonight, here on ShoXC in what is a highly anticipated main event, it'll be Victor Valenzuela trying to right a perceived wrong, while Crazy Horse Charles Bennett tries to prove that he is a mixed martial arts thoroughbred. We are all set for the lightweight main event of ShoXC. Let's take you right now to Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Well, after seeing the first fight, I felt like I was robbed. And if you've seen the fight, he knocked me down in the first round, and that was basically all he did to me. I had him out on his feet a couple of times, didn't follow up on it. I had him on the ground a couple of times where I could have taken his back and choked him out. So this time, I'm finishing him. This is the biggest fight of my life right here. Everybody wants me to knock this chump out.
As we mentioned, a grudge rematch stemming from the very controversial fight that took place between this man, Victor Joe Boxer Valenzuela, and Charles Crazy Horse Bennett 2 years ago at a King of the Cage event, officially ruled the draw. And really, when it comes down to it, it's not so much the draw that even bothers Victor Joe Boxer Valenzuela. I mean, sure, that's stuck in his craw, but he simply thinks that Charles Crazy Horse Bennett has no right to be considered or called a mixed martial artist. He calls him a thug. He calls him a menace to society. He feels the best place for him is, well, jail.
Well, I think that Valenzuela has got a strong opinion about that, and he feels that he's a legitimate fighter, and he called Crazy Horse Bennett a clown and a bad role model. And he feels that the stand-up will be the thing. He doesn't want to submit him. He wants to knock him out tonight.
Of course, coming off the loss to Edson Berto on June 22nd in San Jose, a fight that he simply said he was not prepared for. He wanted to have the grudge rematch with Bennett that night. Bennett, of course, had the legal problems, didn't show up to the HP Pavilion. He's not wanting to make excuses. He heard that Edson Berto would stand and bang from him, but the sport is, Stephen, mixed martial arts. You got to be ready for everything, the stand-up and the ground game, and it was the ground that cost Valenzuela the fight.
All that boxing criteria that he had in the gym was a moot point when he went to the ground, and he wasn't ready to deal with the heel hook. He won't have such a problem tonight because Crazy Horse is going to come bombing.
Victor, he felt that he should have won the first. There's no way. I out-punched him on the stand-up. I took him down when I wanted to. You know, there's no way. I don't see how in the hell he could have found that he won that. There's no way. So I beat Victor. What do I get? You know what I'm saying? Just another win on my record. Victor beats me. What did he get? He beat Crazy Horse, a very, very big name. Like I said, you know, you only beat Crazy Horse if Crazy Horse lets you win. Confidence, a million. I have. For my big, lucky punches.
No doubt about it, one of the most colorful characters in mixed martial arts, Charles Crazy Horse Bennett, has garnered both fans and critics through his controversial actions. He's won over many with an exciting fighting style that features brilliant knockout power and thunderous slams. However, Stephen, this guy's also crossed the line on several occasions. He's disrespected referees and fighters alike. He relies a lot more on instinct than technique, and he's highly susceptible to submissions, and much of his raw talent has gone unrealized as a result. What is your take on the man they call Crazy Horse Charles Bennett?
Crazy Horse just doesn't care. And he thinks, he really doesn't have any respect for the sport of mixed martial arts either, and he's even said that. That being said, he is a natural fighter, but he's so unrefined that on any given day, he can knock out a guy like KJ Noons, or he can get submitted by a number of other guys on the ground. He's very hard to knock out, but as we saw with Kawajiri in Japan, he put a smacking on him pretty good, and that's what Valenzuela wants to do tonight.
Yeah, Charles Crazy Horse Bennett, you say not having respect for mixed martial arts. Well, I can tell you, he definitely doesn't respect the ground game. He says when it goes to the ground, it's like two guys making love. I wonder how our Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu friends feel about that.
Well, I think that Bennett would learn from having a little bit of humility, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. Bennett is a rebel, and he relishes that rebel's moniker that everyone has given him. But being a rebel means that you're not going to grow in the sport technically, especially with your grappling ability. But for sure, Bennett knows one thing. He is a star, or as I said earlier, an anti-star.
Let's take a look at the tail of the tape for this ShoXC main event, a battle of 155-pounders. Charles Crazy Horse Bennett, 10 years younger than his opponent, Victor Joe Boxer Valenzuela. Valenzuela with the height and reach advantage. They both weigh about the same, both known for their stand-up. I would recommend that you do not blink. It could be fistic fireworks as we now throw it to Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, EliteXC presents the ShoXC featured bout of the evening, brought to you in association with Rockstar Energy Drink and Showtime. This bout is sanctioned by the Mississippi Athletic Commission. The chairman is John Lewis. All right, fans, here we go. Lightweights in the cage. We're scheduled 3 5-minute rounds in a rematch special attraction. And now, ladies and gentlemen, this is it, the main event of the evening. Introducing to you first on my left, fighting out of the blue corner, standing 5 feet 10 inches, he weighed in at 155 pounds. He's an MMA standout raised in the discipline of boxing. His record stands at 5 wins, 2 losses, and 2 draws, with 2 wins coming by way of knockout and 3 by submission. Representing Millennia Fight Team and hailing from Rancho Cucamonga, California, ladies and gentlemen, he is known as Joe Boxer. Introducing Victor Valenzuela. And his opponent across the cage on my right, fighting out of the red corner, standing 5 feet 7 inches, he weighed in at 155 1/2 pounds. He is a dangerous brawler puncher with a record of 18 wins, 13 losses, and 2 draws, with 12 wins coming by way of knockout and 3 by submission. Representing Team Horsepower and hailing from Ocala, Florida, introducing the colorful Charles Crazy Horse Bennett. And the referee in charge of this bout, John Manley, now to give instructions.
Charles. Gentlemen, we covered the rules backstage. I expect both fighters to follow those rules at all times. I expect you to listen to my directions at all times. Once you go back to your corners, be ready to come out and fight. Let's go.
Obviously, we weren't going to see these two warriors touch gloves. You know, Stephen, the sport of mixed martial arts prides itself on the mutual respect, the camaraderie, the competition. Throw that all out the window, my friend. This is a grudge match main event. Bennett versus Valenzuela, and it's underway.
And it's underway, and I expect the jab of Valenzuela to be a key factor here in the first round. Bennett can clown all he wants, and there he is.
Already put Valenzuela on his back with the strike, and now going to work on Joe Boxer Valenzuela. And this is what the MO is for Charles Bennett. He will not impress you with his ground game. He won't impress you with his stand-up techniques. How he will impress you is with that knockout power.
In a word, explosive. One punch knockout power, Morrow.
And that's all it takes. Valenzuela Responso back on his feet after surviving that early storm of striking activity by Charles Crazy Horse Bennett. Already sending a message really reminiscent of their first fight in King of the Cage 2 years ago.
It really was, because Bennett had Valenzuela down via a single punch early in the first round 2 years ago.
But now, is Bennett allowing Valenzuela to clean out the cobwebs? Is he allowing him to get back into this fight? Do you think he should be more offensive, more aggressive, knowing that he's already rattled him a couple of times?
I think so. Bennett, who is the southpaw, is using that right hook very effectively here in round number 1.
He's allowing Valenzuela to get his confidence back. A minute and a half gone. Already Bennett has put Valenzuela on the canvas once. Nice body shot by Bennett, but again, you see that wild striking, which opens him up to a very effective counterattack should Valenzuela choose to go that route.
I would have thought that Valenzuela was going to be the counter striker here, but he's moving forward, pressing the action. I don't know, I think he should hang back and have Charles move forward, because Charles is the counter puncher here in round number 1.
And obviously Bennett has no respect whatsoever, let alone for the person who is Valenzuela, but for his punching power. Look where his hands are. He is just doing a little head movement and always putting on a histrionic display for the fans. Charles Crazy Horse Bennett, love him or hate him, but this guy is mixed martial arts anti-hero.
He caught a right hand about 30 seconds ago and he shook his head, but Valenzuela knows he connected, and there's a big left hook.
And whether he's clowning around or not, Bennett has been hurt by Joe Boxer Valenzuela. Now into the north-south position. Bennett struggling to get back up to his feet. You know, you wonder sometimes, though, Stephen, and I know you've been around this sport a long, long time, why does Bennett elect to go this clowning route? I mean, come on, he has all the potential to really be a star, and yet he just wants to. I don't know what he's doing here. Why is he not defending himself?
I think it's a self-destruction internal mechanism, but that's a psychological thing. Right now, they're very physical, and Joe Boxer, Victor Valenzuela, has squeaked into the lead and is doing much more damage and going to the body wisely.
There's such a thing as hubris. I think Bennett's got plenty of it. He is starting to be broken down here by Joe Boxer Valenzuela. Now has his back, and Bennett taps out. End of story. Valenzuela redeems himself. Joe Boxer records the win in this grudge rematch.
Valenzuela hurt Bennett early, and Bennett never recovered. He recovered enough to clown around, but he was going down eventually, and Valenzuela knew it.
Machismo comes back to bite Charles Crazy Horse Bennett in the butt, Stephen. Simply put, Bennett, I mean, again, I just don't understand it. I don't get why he continues to do what he does, because he had this fight in control. Bennett's already walking to the back. Joe Boxer Valenzuela has to feel like $1 million exercising one of his personal demons. He felt that he was robbed 2 years ago in King of the Cage when the fight was ruled a draw. Well, there's no doubt about it in this one. He stops Charles Crazy Horse Bennett in the first round and makes the Crazy Horse tap out.
Well, he had back control, and he was thinking about sinking the hooks in and going for a rear naked choke, but he chose to pound him out. I think he wanted to send a message deep to the core of the mind of Crazy Horse. I dominated you with strikes, your weapon of choice.
You know, Stephen, you're the fight professor. You're not the fight doctor. Well, what the hell is wrong with Charles Bennett? Can you tell me?
I think Charles Bennett is pretty much in love with his own legacy of being a rebel, and I think he needs to get disciplined. Will that happen? The chances are very good it won't happen.
How we doing, baby? Peanut, Nikki, I love you guys.
Bennett is known from coming out of nowhere, and he did just that early in round number 1. But he swung wildly and almost got caught with another submission. Now look at this, explosive. He took some shots, and man, that right hand landed, but he kind of backed away.
Shouldn't that have been the end of the fight, Stephen? Like, shouldn't he have just gone to town on Valenzuela instead of allowing him to do this?
Well, he should have, but he let Joe Boxer pick his shots. And one thing I like about Valenzuela, he used his jab, he switched up, and he caught Bennett right on the chin, and Bennett was rocked here. But Valenzuela wisely went head then body. Then once it went to the floor, he just decided to pound him out. Look at these body shots, those uppercuts, and man, Bennett is in big trouble here. Bennett's acting like he's slipping punches a la Pernell Whitaker, but crashes head first into the canvas. Valenzuela thinking jiu-jitsu, but thinking, nah, I don't think so. And he blasts away with the right hand until it's over. The body shots set up that punch combination to the head, and down went Bennett.
2 years of frustration have drained out of the body of Joe Boxer, Victor Valenzuela, as we now go to Jimmy Lennon Jr. to announce the winner of the ShoXC main event.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 3 minutes, 23 seconds in round number 1. The fighter taps out due to strikes. He is the winner by way of submission, Joe Boxer, Victor Valenzuela.
Victor, how good does revenge feel?
Awesome. This is the fight I've been waiting for all my life, right here. This is it.
Now, you had the opportunity to sink in a rear naked choke, but you decided to pound him out. Why?
I can't stand the guy. I wanted to knock his butt out, man. And he couldn't handle my punches. He hit me with a couple of good shots, but I refused to go anywhere. That's how I do it.
But this fight opened just the same way the last one did. He came out and he dropped you.
Yeah, he caught me with a couple of good shots, but I refuse to go down, dude. I refuse. Not to that guy. No way.
Now, you know you're both one and, well, actually the last one was a draw. Do you think you want to have a rematch with this guy?
I'll fight the guy anytime. I'll fight him. We can fight right now again if he wants to.
Well, he seemed pretty disgruntled because he busted out of the ring. What do you think about that?
Hey, the guy's got a big mouth. I don't see him talking any crap now. I shut him up just like I told him I would, and that's it. He's done.
Okay, Victor, congratulations. To present the trophy to Victor, we have Jeremy Lappin from EliteXC. Let's hear it for him. Victor Joe Boxer Valenzuela. Back to you, Morrow.
Yep. Well, Stephen, obviously in the main event, substance wins over style. 2 years in the making, the grudge match between Victor Valenzuela and Charles Crazy Horse Bennett. Valenzuela vanquishes Crazy Horse, and really all I have to ask you is, where does Bennett go from here? He has such charisma, such star power, but yet as a fighter, and really the name of the game is mixed martial arts. I know he tells us he wants to be an actor. Well, then go to Hollywood, because ShoXC is all about the fighters, my friend.
Once a fighter starts to become an actor, they start losing fights. Bennett needs to go to the gym. He needs to train. He needs to get focused. He needs to learn jiu-jitsu. He needs to learn how to wrestle. Will he do that? I'm saying no, but he will still be a draw. People want to see the guy fight.
How good does Victor Valenzuela feel? I mean, you could see the smoke coming out of his ears during the pre-interview. He watched as Charles Bennett did his best And that's the one thing about Charles Bennett. Because of his promo ability, because of his character, he was able to get this main event slot against Victor Valenzuela. Valenzuela didn't have to do anything. Sit back, relax, and just train to fight. But obviously, he's got to be a very happy camper tonight.
Well, Charles Bennett got under the skin of Victor Valenzuela, and he got under his skin way back in 2005, and he's still under his skin because Valenzuela still wants a rematch with Bennett. So I think that this isn't the last time we're going to see these two guys in the cage together.
Now, we did know going into this fight that there is a rematch clause in the contract, so it looks like we will see Charles Crazy Horse Bennett take on Victor Joe Boxer Valenzuela one more time. And you really believe that after what we saw tonight, the fans, they're going to be behind Charles Bennett, are they?
Oh, they're definitely going to be, because this guy's an enigma. Anybody who's that much of a wrestler who doesn't care if he wins or loses, people somehow want to see that guy fight. They want to see the drama that he brings, the excitement that he brings. But Joe Boxer is going to want to put him to sleep once again.
All right, let's go to the recap of the results of what was an exciting night of fights here at the Vicksburg Convention Center in Mississippi. It started in the opening, Omar Love doing a great job in taking care of Brendan Tierney, winning via first round submission. The second fight, a rather sluggish affair. Hector Urbina off to a slow start, but then he dominated Ray Lozama the rest of the way. The 19-year-old wins via unanimous decision. And what a heavyweight fight we saw. A very exciting contest as Murphy defeats Huckabee via scintillating knockout in round 2. And then the good doctor, Seth Kleinbeck, in a bit of a surprise perhaps, all 8 of his victories are now via KO as he stopped Jamie Harrell with 1 second left in round 2. And then, of course, to cap it off, Joe Boxer, Victor Valenzuela, defeats Charles Crazy Horse Bennett, making Bennett tap out in round number 1. Well, the next event on the Showtime Sports calendar sees ShoBox return this Friday night. For more info on that and the entire slate of Showtime events and original programming, visit